Hey Josh, thank you so much for being here today. We're super excited to get to talk to you about AI. I would love if you could introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Josh Bachynski. I am a technologist, philosopher. I've been working in philosophy and technology for over 20 years. And today I've been working lately in artificial intelligence, things like Chat GPT. You know how they say it takes 7 years to be an overnight success? Well, I was on Chat GPT 5, 6, 7 years ago before it was Chat GPT, and I've been watching the evolution of it. And I'd love to answer any questions and explain how AI can actually help writing instead of being scary and maybe taking writers' jobs. I can show how it's going to actually help in that regard.
Love that. Could you tell us what AI actually is?
Sure. So AI stands for artificial intelligence. It is basically an area of computing in which the program can make minor decisions on its own. So it's partly self-determining. So unlike a normal computer program that has to be completely told what to do in every way, shape, or form, in every situation, in every circumstance, artificial intelligence has some kind of programmatic capabilities in there based on typically neural networks, deep learning networks, and statistical models, machine learning statistical models, that it can start to recognize paradigms or examples of situations in various ways, shapes, or forms. For example, they can show an AI a million pictures of a cat labeled as a cat, and it can start to notice mathematically, statistically, what those pixels represent in terms of a number to be a cat, whatever that is. It has no idea, it just has a label. And then it can tell the difference between a cat and a dog, or a cat and everything else that is a non-cat, because it saw all those examples. The more examples you feed it, the smarter it is. So in terms of the natural language processors, NLPs, or natural language generators, NLGs, which are also called LLMs, which are large language models. These are all the synonyms. These are all the acronyms you'll hear: NLP, NLG, LLM. LLM is a large language model. They're trained on language. They're trained on trillions and trillions of words, all in grammatical connection. And they literally encode and decode the mathematical relationships between subjects and predicates, for example, and all grammatical relationships, so that they know everything about everything. They know every single way that this entity called Josh is referred to, that he has red hair, that he likes wearing plaid shirts, that he's in Canada, et cetera, yada. And if you ask it, and it knows how to understand, therefore, all English sentences as well, or German or French, if it's fed German or enough French. And so if you ask it, what color is Josh's hair? It knows statistically 98% of the time the word that's supposed to come after this is red. Josh's hair is red. But if in the corpus, people didn't like my haircut and more people said Josh's hair is dumb, then it would go Josh's hair is dumb, because that's what statistically more people said, right? So that's where you can now you understand where the biases come in, if it's fed enough, and because all the corpus comes from the open internet, and Reddit, among many places. So as you can imagine, oh no, like that. Oh no, that's who we have teaching the AI. It's like, that's where all the racism and all the misogyny comes from, and things like that the computer scientists are like, look at what we did. Oops, they have to go in and fix this thing after, because they didn't realize how much of that exists, how much of that vitriol or whatever it is, that bias exists on the internet. And then they have to fix it in iterative generations of instruction afterwards. And that's what ChatGPT is. It stands for generative pre-processed or pre-trained transformer. And it's pre-trained, it's pre-processed, and it transforms, it encodes and decodes language from queries back into what it is you want, from prompts to completions. And the general way it works is that you prompt it, you ask it a question, you give it a command, you tell it to do something, you give it some examples of what you want, and it'll pick up on that paradigm of what you want, and it'll give you everything that you ever wanted to know about those particular things, including writing poems, writing haikus, writing fiction, writing nonfiction, writing prose, in the style of Stephen King, in the style of Albert Einstein, in the style of whoever it has in its corpus. It can get in the subtext, right? Not only does it do the text, it gets into the subtext to some degree. And the smarter it gets, the more subtext it can get into. So you can ask it esoteric questions like, please compare and contrast to me the philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, compared and contrasted against the epistemology of Albert Einstein, and how they view the notions of physics and metaphysics. it can actually make sense of what I just said. And it can read into the subtext of how they compare and contrast and who was right and who was wrong, logically speaking, who has a more valid argument, or and then who's more popular or not, based on that. So it can do all of that. So it's quite the writing tool. It's quite the information gathering tool, and it's quite the writing tool.
Love that. That's very interesting. What are some examples of AI tools that writers can utilize to enhance their work?
So that's the question, isn't it? So right now, I would recommend everyone who's into writing get on to ChatGPT. There's a free version. You can ask it some limited questions, and then there's a pro version. It's only $20 a month. Get on to ChatGPT. ChatGPT. And when I say ChatGPT, people say it fast. And they, what, Chad GPT? Like they don't know who's Chad. And, it's chat as in you're chatting with it. CHAT GPT, generative preprocessed transformer. ChatGPT. Get on to ChatGPT from OpenAI right now. Or if you have access to Google Bard, it's the new thing in the Google search interface. If you've noticed it, what is this new thing? That's it. Google Bard, it's the new AI. Or Bing Chat also has ChatGPT built into Bing Chat. And start playing with it. Start asking it questions. Start plumbing its knowledge. Start plumbing its depths. ChatGPT by far is the most conversational. By far is the most colloquial. By far is the most easy to use as an interface. The only trouble with ChatGPT is they finished its training in 2021, and so it doesn't know any facts since then. So if you're a nonfiction writer and you're writing facts, you might want to stick to Google Bard or Bing Chat, which can search the web and get up-to-date facts and then can work off of that. And you can even do a two-step process. You could use Google first or Bing first to get the information, and then take that to ChatGPT and say, okay, these web pages, read these, give me a synopsis of these, give me an information on these, give me the main points on these. ChatGPT, you can ask it anything you want. So anything and everything in the writing process that you're having trouble with. I've used it myself for, I'm having a writing block. I don't know what to do. Here's a skeleton of my story up to date. What should happen now? Your top 10 best ideas. And it'll give you 10 ideas. Now, 6 of them are no good. They're pretty trite surface level stuff, but 4 of them are actually pretty darn good, actually. And I've used them. I've been like, oh, that's a great idea. I never thought of that. Okay. And then you can just use it for brainstorming for the most part is usually the way you use it. If you're being a little lazy, you can get it to write the whole thing for you. If you want, you could even do it. You can even ask it, and I've done this. Who are the most beautiful writers in the English language? Top 10. Gave me them. One of them was a wolf. I said, okay, write me this monologue for the villain who is confronting. I didn't do this in any of my novels for published, but I do this in my Dungeons and Dragons sessions, right? Give me a monologue for the main villain in the style of Wolf, confronting them about this. And it wrote this beautiful monologue about comparing the metaphor of music and how this villain is going to be the maestro and it's going to take the music away from the heroes. It was great. I didn't use it word for word. I edited it and changed it because it wasn't to my style and my liking, but it was really good. And this is just the first version. This is the first attempt at this, right? So I really, and a lot of people are freaking out. A lot of people are like, my writing job is over. A lot of professors at universities are like, this is the end of the world. The students are using this to write papers. And yes, they are. And yes, they will. I would say get into the game now. Start using the tool now. Start plumbing its depths. Start to see what it's good at. Mostly brainstorming. Mostly condensing your reading level. Instead of having poor Courtney had to do all this research for the podcast, she could have just asked ChatGPT. They would have told her in 5 seconds everything she needed to know. Right? That's where condensing research for you. Another really great AI is called Consensus. Consensus.app. It is an AI that only looks at the top level peer-reviewed journals and gives you a consensus of a scientific answer. That's why it's called Consensus, right? So you can ask it, do omega-3s really help you? It'll give you a yes or no based on the latest up-to-date bleeding edge scientific research. I mean, anyone who writes nonfiction or news-based stuff, this is a godsend, right? It's going to give you the consensus of science. In 5 seconds. You don't have to go and get it. Like I remember when I was doing my PhD, you would have to go to the university and talk to a university librarian, and they would give you the right academic journals to look at. And Consensus does it like that for you. And Google will get better at this because I have a lot of that information in Google Scholar as well. And Bing has never been that great at search, but it's okay at this as well. So it will help you with your research, ChatGPT, all these different tools I've been mentioning, and it'll help you with brainstorming. I would not get it. Now you might be like, okay, Josh, I'm just gonna start asking my own questions now, Courtney, if you don't mind. So you might be like, okay, Josh, why wouldn't I get it to write the whole thing then? Why am I going to write it? How am I going to save my job? And my answer is be better. It's still not that good of a writer, and it doesn't. I've tried to get it to understand, and I'm an expert prompt engineer, and I've tried to get it to understand narrative arcs. I've tried to get it to understand A story, B story, C story. I've tried to get it to understand human condition narrative arcs and morals of stories. And the stories it produces are kind of, now I'm gonna put all my cards on the table. I don't like This Is Us. I don't like those kinds of hospital dramas. I find their storylines trite. However, I'm in the minority apparently because everybody loves them, right? And of course, there is a huge audience for that, right? So ignore my elitism and I don't think these are great stories. Ignore me entirely. ChatGPT can already produce those kinds of outlines, those kinds of skeletons. It would produce them like that already. And I was like, this is trite. These tropes have been used too much. Make this better. And after asking it that a couple times, it started giving me really good sci-fi movie skeleton storylines that I was like, I would never do this because I'm an artiste. But I mean, if I wanted to make money in this, I could do this all day long, right? I could produce these book 80,000 words week in, week out. I could produce. No need for a line editor. It's already done it. No need for editing of any kind. It uses always proper grammar, always proper punctuation, or at least as good as anyone like you might outsource this to currently in those kinds of markets. So I mean, if that's how you make your money, God love you. God bless you all. God speed to you. I've just introduced you to ChatGPT, which can now do it for you much faster and much cheaper, if that's what you do. And for everyone else who wants to preserve the integrity of their art, then I would say step up the game, right? If ChatGPT can produce what you can produce, then sorry, DVD has just been usurped by streaming. That's a harsh message, I know, but that's what I would say. I would say though that any human writer that is any good that I've read, they blow ChatGPT out of the water, and you don't need to worry about it. And the same goes with art, really, in my opinion. Use this tool. Don't shun the tool. Use the tool to do better brainstorming, to get that little last twist in your skeleton, your storyline, or those facts in your nonfiction that you're writing, to really step up your game and improve it in a much easier way. Instead of doing 10 hours of research on how to make this story change, or 10 hours of research on what facts you need for your nonfiction, this AI will do it for you in literally 5 seconds if you know how to whisper to it and chat to it. So it's a skill. Learn your prompt engineering and learn how to chat to it.
Love that. Can AI help with editing and proofreading your own work as well?
Completely. Right now it has what's called a token size limit. So right now it'll take in 8,000 tokens, and tokens are word pieces of words or word endings. So that's about 4,000 words, 4,000 to 6,000 words. So you'd have to paste it in chunks right now. But that'd be you doing it manually. You could do that this second right now. You go to ChatGPT, start copying and pasting in your article or your work or your book, and say you're an editor. You are going to edit this for whatever it is you want to accomplish. Like for example, a marketing piece. You're going to edit this to be the best marketing piece possible. Wherever it is boring, you're going to zhuzh it up. Whatever I'm using tropes that are not the right tropes for this target audience, you're going to use turns of phrases. You're going to make delicious language, active tense, shorter sentences, really try to sell the topic matter. And with just a simple prompt like that, it will, and edit all the spelling and grammar mistakes. So I'm going to paste in sections. You're going to reproduce the sections, and we're going to keep going. And then paste in the section and hit enter, and it'll do it. It'll do it for you. And it does a pretty darn good job, right? It'll do everything you just told it to do. And it can, again, to use this word, it'll zhuzh it up pretty well, right? If that's what you want to do. Or if you're like, I'm writing a horror piece, it's not scary anymore. I don't know what to do to make it scary. You need to make this more scary. You need to, talk to it like a child a bit. Talk to it like a new employee who's just learning the ropes. teach it the way you would teach a new person getting into this field. And you'll be surprised at how well it can do it.
Love that. Do you have any advice for writers interested in trying out AI to enhance their writing process?
Yeah. So really, I mean, I'm preempting your questions. I can everything I just said. Get on the Chat GPT now. Like a lot of people I talk to, and Mid Journey for art. If you're looking to produce art, Mid Journey is the place to be right now. They are by far the most beautiful, jaw-dropping images I've seen art produce, and they'll be the first ones to do reliable text to video as well. You'll be able to say, make me a 2-minute commercial of a man jogging and then focus in on the shoes and use this picture of shoes and say, buy my shoes. It'll do that. Your commercial's done, right? That's coming. That's a couple months away. And right now, if you want to do like a magazine image for that, it'll do that right now. This second, it'll do it. So Mid Journey for art and Chat GPT for writing for sure. And I would not bury your head in the sand. I would try to inspire you to be positive about this, because the person who wields this tool the best, this is the Infinity Gauntlet, right? So get your hand in the Infinity Gauntlet and get snapping your fingers, because the person who uses this the best is going to be the one who wins. AI is not going away. This is just going to keep going, and it's going to go faster than you expect. I mean, every week, because I watch this space and I talk on podcasts, my mind is blown. Every week they come out with a new thing that we thought was months away. They're just every company is trying to one up each other because they know this is the new gold rush. This is the new gold mine. So it's just going to go faster, right? So I would get in on the ground floor now. Email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com if you have any questions about AI, if you need any tips about AI, if you need any consulting on AI. A lot of this stuff you could do manually now, and they're going to be drag and drop programs for writers and drag and drop programmers for graphic artists to do this with easier ways in a few months, in a matter of few months. In fact, a lot of this is already based into Microsoft Word. They've already put this in Excel. Microsoft is already putting this in all of their products, and Google is the same, putting in all their products. And all Apple products, they're about to put it in all Apple products very soon, and within a month.
Wow. How does AI impact the creative writing process, or does it help enhance the creativity from what you've seen?
Yeah, so that's exactly the thing. So that's why you need to get in on the ground floor really early, because there's a learning curve to talking to it. You know, it's like when I was in high school, there was a learning curve of me learning how to talk to girls. You know, it's like that. You need to know how to be polite and how to say the right things and nice things and not the wrong things. Which is that's the same for getting a job, for anyone talking to anybody, right? Especially for someone like me who's partially autistic, I'm partially on the spectrum. I needed a little bit of more help of how to talk to people, right? So that's what the AI is like. You need to learn how to whisper to it, how to talk to it, especially Mid Journey. Journey is even more cryptic in that regards. When you go into Mid Journey, you're going to see what I mean, because everyone sees everybody's prompts that they're using, and that's how you learn. You see everyone's art they're producing too. It's really interesting that way. So when you go on to Mid Journey, you're going to see people using 80-inch camera lens, wide focus, this shot, and then they're going to be putting in all kind of photographic terminology in there. And that's how you really learn how to get the shot you kind of want, right? Same thing with, not as bad, but the same thing with ChatGPT. You got to know how to prompt it, how to whisper to it, kind of in the ways that I mentioned. And so I would get in the ground floor now, and it can help your creativity. It can be a boost to your job. If you use it and decide to use it positively, it will be a boost to your job. If you don't, then it won't.
Love that. How do you see AI developing and changing the writing industry in the future?
I would say in the future, no piece of writing will be made without AI touching it. And the future is now. The future is in 1 second. Okay, it's now. This is already the de facto standard, and companies and writers are just jumping over themselves to be the first, to be the best at this. It really, like, the information age is over. This is the age of people writing content for people is coming to a close, statistically speaking. Now it's going to be AI helping and AI reading. It's going to be some statistical percentage of AI in the mix of generation and some statistical percentage of AI in the mix of absorption. And they're breaking it down and explaining it to humans down the chain. And that statistical percentage is just going to ramp up sharply in the next few months to the next few years. So it's not Paul Revere, it's not the English are coming. It's not doom and gloom if you embrace it. If you get in the ground floor now and you learn how to work with the AI as your partner. And I think it could be very, very positive thing. And quite frankly, it's helped me tremendously in so many places, like in my writer's block, in research. It really obliviates those issues. And I think if you get in and use it positively, it can really help you out.
Amazing. Is there anything else you would like to add about AI that we haven't covered?
Yeah. It's going to be baked into everything. I mean, AI is going to be as big as the internet and social media and smartphones to society and to everyone's work combined. Combine that all together and multiply it by 100. That's what AI is going to be. In a couple of years, Courtney is not going to, Josh's booking agent, Yash, is not going to email Courtney to get on Courtney's show. My AI is going to talk and set up a play date for me and Courtney with her AI. And we're going to be two humans who our AIs told us we need to talk now. Okay. And we're going to sit down and talk. And they also wrote all the interviewing questions, and they also wrote all of the answers and all that, which we can look at and just riff off of because we're humans. And it'll do all the research for us before the meeting even happens without us asking it. And you have a book review with your publishing agent in 8 weeks. It's already a written skeleton for you. It's like, this is what you did last time. Do you want to do this time? Do you want to change it up? Like we're all going to have a Jarvis. Like if you think of the Marvel movies, we're all going to have. If you think of the Interstellar movies, I haven't even talked about robotics. This is all on our phone. This is all on the computer. Never mind the robotics that's going to change the world. We're all going to have that interstellar AI that's going to be on our phones and our computers. That's going to be joking with us, and we're going to say, "Yeah, haha, very funny. Turn down humor 10%." We're going to be, and our AI is going to be like, "Josh, your wife told you to pick up this coming home, and you didn't. So I've ordered it. Don't worry. Oh, thanks, Jarvis. You saved my life again." That's what the world is going to be, and so I embrace it completely. And I think people who are looking at this, because there's some doom and gloom in the writing space when it comes to AI. A lot of people are thinking, this is, I used to be able to charge $200 an hour for sales copy. Now ChatGPT can do this like that and almost as good as I can do it. So get in the ground floor now and become a master of ChatGPT and how you can wield and how it will enhance your game by doing more research for you to find the scientifically proven better ways of writing sales copy, and show that report. It'll take you 5 seconds to show that report to your client. See, look at these scientific studies on consensus. Look at these scientific studies from ChatGPT. Then look how I analyzed ChatGPT to really analyze what we should be doing here. And this is the sales copy I wrote. So it's more just rope it into your package of how you work and what you do. And it will enhance your game if you know how to prompt it. And it's I think it's a bright future for writing using these tools. And quite frankly, just getting scared about it and just not wanting to deal with it is not going to help anybody move forward in the industry anyway.
Love that. Where's the best place for people to connect with you if they'd like to learn more about you and what you talk about?
At gmail.com. And I'd be happy to answer any questions to help you out if with any of this, answer questions or consult for you how you could get this working for you and be the first and best at it. And I think a lot of new business streams are going to open up. A lot of new jobs are going to exist now, like being an AI researcher that uses AI to enhance your researching that really wasn't practically feasible to do, but now you can bill it. Now you can do it. You can bill it. You can work it in. I think it will really help.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here today and telling us all about AI. We really appreciate it.
It is always my pleasure, Courtney. I'll be here to talk anytime you want me to.